Today's episode of Armchair Ninja Podcast is brought to you by NinjaWarriorBlueprints.com. Get detailed and easy-to-read instructions on how to build your own affordable backyard gym, including the salmon ladder, cliffhanger, and rumbling dice at NinjaWarriorBlueprints.com. Coming to you from sunny California and the Great White North. Get ready. We are breaking down the obstacles on the Armchair Ninja Podcast. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Armchair Ninja Podcast. It is Thursday, August 4th, 2016. My name is Rich, and joining me today is Bijan. How you making out?
Doing good, man. Feeling a little bit older.
Yeah, it's a special day today.
It's a special day. It is my birthday, and oh man, I am feeling it. Just got like one foot in the grave, man. I woke up, had like a gray hair on my chin. I'm just like, oh, because it's getting any worse. And then guess what happened just last night, man?
What happened?
I was flossing after eating dinner with my girlfriend, and pop goes out one of the crowns in the back of my teeth, or back of my mouth. So I have a giant gap in my mouth right now.
Yeah. I
might as well just get dentures. Like, I'm just getting old. I'm falling apart.
Well, at least you don't have any gray hair to worry about.
Yeah, I don't have hair at all. I'm so dang. I'm a dinosaur, dude. I'm a dinosaur at this point.
Yes, late 20s is definitely dinosaur age. You wait. You just wait. It's not even 30. 30's nothing. You hit 30 and you're like, it's not even that different. 35, man. 35, I don't know what happens. Everything starts falling apart.
It already feels like it's getting there.
And there's somebody right now that's 50-some going, you just wait, Rich, you don't even know.
There's probably like half our listeners hate me so much right now, me complaining about turning 28.
So we're going to be recapping the Oklahoma City finals. Lots of updates to go through. We're going to do Crashing the Course, of course, and Courses, of course. We've got Daniel Gill's 24x4, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, man.
So... quick update from my side of things. Couch to Salmon Ladder. If you haven't seen it yet, I'm going to link my Instagram attempt, we'll call it, at doing a pull-up, working my way towards it. We will eventually get there. And thank you to Andrew Denny for sending me a recommendation for Joe DeFranco's YouTube channel for some stretching. It's very helpful. If anybody else has suggestions, I'll definitely take them.
One step at a time, man.
Yep, a little bit at a time. I still think, I'm realizing now, definitely got to get the weight down a little bit to help with that. It would definitely make things a little easier.
Yeah, just a little, right?
Yeah. Oh, and congratulations, Bijan, on topping the ANW Fantasy League.
Oh, yeah. Well, what do you know about that? Somebody from the Armchair Ninja Podcast, a little bloke named Bijan, actually knows what he's talking about when he makes those predictions. I see these things, man. I see them in my mind.
And so you've got you're tied for the first place, and you guys
not
have...
for long. I'm going to top it.
Well, here's the thing, right? So it's kind of a square off between the two of you for the Philadelphia finals, because his pick is Joe Moravsky and yours is Jeff Britton.
What a showdown, right?
Yeah.
It doesn't get better than that. Yeah, that's going to be fun, man. It's going to be interesting watching from here on because, when the points become much more important, it's really going to make those runs even sweeter to watch. And yeah, I'm holding down the fort. I'm repping the podcast for all you guys. I got those picks locked in. Jeff Britton's going to take me all the way. I know it.
Yeah, and what's funny is I have both of them picked, so we'll see where that puts me.
Yeah, well, where are you at?
I'm going to Vegas. I'm a little bit further down the list.
Yeah.
Nicholas Coolidge didn't quite come through for me, so it puts me down a little bit. But he's going to do it in Vegas. I know he's got it.
Yeah. But, with that said, it's not about me. It's all fun and jest. I'm really happy that just all my picks are doing well. And collectively, most of the people that were picking, or most of the picks are doing well. And it's good to see that. I'm really happy for those guys.
Okay, so let's get into the actual recap here. So right off the bat, what'd you think of the course?
Well, first off, my expectations were really high because the Oklahoma City qualifiers was my favorite qualifying course with between all of the qualifying courses. So my expectations were really high going into this episode, and I must say, man, they delivered. I loved their final obstacle, other than the invisible ladder. What is it called? The window hang. Man, that I loved that obstacle so much. It was so incredibly creative. It was a ninja killer. They got right back to it. I genuinely think the window hang topped the wedge as my favorite new obstacle this season. I love that thing so much. I absolutely adore this course. It is so incredibly difficult, every aspect of it, and just all around is perfect. Thumbs up.
Huh, interesting. I liked it. It's not that I didn't like it. I just didn't think it was that strong. Window hang was good, solid obstacle. I don't know that it would qualify as one of my favorites, though. And Bungee Road was kind of meh. It was all right.
Such a buzzkill, man.
We have to have different opinions sometimes.
No, I feel you know the bungee. I appreciate the bungee. I think more than most. It's pretty whatever in terms of just a visual aspect, but it just looks so incredibly difficult. I think I've seen so many people fail at it from earlier seasons. I think it's kind of like a callback to the classics, but I will give you that a thing that it isn't a ninja killer. But I think the window hang was so difficult and creative that it really made up for it. I really like that obstacle. It reminded me a lot of a mix between the UFO, an obstacle that we gave a lot of slack to last year, and what's it called? The Ultimate Cliffhanger. So it kind of feels like a mix between those two, and I really like how they varied the angles up and everything. You had to use so many different parts of your body, both your arms, your legs. You had to really think about it. There was so many different little small things about it. Plus, it drained all of your grip strength and your leg strength. It really did a lot to it. So I really, really thoroughly enjoyed that obstacle. And man, I would love to see that obstacle in stage 3. Oh, in Vegas, sorry. Help if I explain that, huh?
Yeah. So first up running the course was Jeff Lancaster. It's funny.
Who's that?
As they went on.
Do you mean Jill Lancaster's brother? That guy?
Joe Lancaster?
Jill. That's a joke, but never mind.
Oh, Jill.
You killed it. Fail.
Sorry. I couldn't remember her name, but it's funny because I do remember her and I don't remember him. Like, I actually fall right into that whole thing that they're saying because I remember her from last year.
Yeah, it's sad because, he was going on in the story and I didn't recognize him, but I feel like I should. But man, did I recognize her. I think, I feel bad, but, I am a guy. She's very pretty. But I did remember her because she was very impressive also. And yeah, I was like, man, I guess we are very much similar to everybody else, like Googling. Never mind.
It's just kind of sad. It really is kind of sad. Like, we really, whatever.
Yeah.
What are you going to do? So Jeff took forever on the ring swing. Like, he was really struggling. I didn't think he was going to make it off of there the way he was going. And I don't know if that sapped him out or just threw off his confidence, but he ended up going out on the log runner, unfortunately.
Yeah, it's never really a good sign when they're struggling on the second obstacle. With that said, man, we got to talk about that swing though. I really like how they cut it off like at the 90-degree angle. It's a small thing that didn't really trip up a lot of people, but I really like that they added that kind of small little nugget of difficulty.
Yeah, that's a great change. I think that was perfect. That's the kind of thing that just that little tweak, just to throw that wrinkle in there can make a pretty big difference.
Yeah, it just makes them think a little bit more. Like, I'm glad that they're doing these tweaks because in previous seasons, they kind of just like overlook the first part of the course. It's nice that as viewers, we have something to look forward to with the previous obstacles as well. Just a little thing. I really like that.
Yeah, it's almost like having a new obstacle in a way, right? It adds a little variety. We're not just rehashing the same obstacles we already saw once before.
Yeah. Man, I still love that log runner. Probably my favorite balance obstacle this season.
Yeah, I actually, I don't know. I like it and I don't. I'm a little upset because it took out so many good ninjas, which, I don't know. It's just early in the course to be knocking so many people out.
I feel you. Trust me, I feel you. But I still really enjoy it. I think it'd be a really good addition to Stage 1.
Like, it seems weird because there's one of the guys later that, made it to the finals, and he only made it to the tire swing, I think. Like, it knocked out so many people that the qualifiers only had to make it to, like, the third or fourth obstacle to actually make it through to the finals.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's kind of weird, right?
Yeah,
but,
odd.
That's why I like that course so much in the qualifiers. It was so difficult, and it wasn't cheap. It was just difficult. I liked it.
Next, we had Nate Burkhalter. So he was in the walk-on line for 2 years, which had to suck, and this time he got the call. I love that they filmed
like
those.
He's been waiting for a year.
Okay, fair enough. He didn't wait all that, but he spent weeks. I mean, you accumulate that time. That's a lot of time.
Yeah, he was there for a good minute. I will say, I like the fact that he had a cool comeback story. I like those types of stories. So yeah, it's unfortunate that he failed on the salmon ladder. I think what happened to him is that the switch grip really tripped him up. You really have to know what you're doing when you do the switch grip, and I don't know what happened. I don't think he's tried that before.
Oh, maybe that's what it was. This is his first time in the final, so I mean, it was good that he did make it into the back half of the course at least, so that was good.
Yeah, good for him.
After him, we had Reed Pletcher. Dude fell when he was rock climbing. It was like a horrible story.
Oh, man.
But the craziest thing, he trains visually impaired skiers, guides them with a headset like that. There's blind skiers?
I didn't know that was a thing, but that's pretty awesome.
I guess. It makes me really worried.
Come on, you're Canadian. You should be more into like those winter sports and all that. I will say that's quite a creative career choice. And I'm glad that he was able to redirect his passion for, just athletic sports or athleticism in general and switch it up kind of from being a trainer of, the Paralympics to American Ninja Warrior. And man, dude's pretty good.
Yeah, he is. I find it weird to, I'm going to take it easy and just do American Ninja Warrior, I guess. I don't understand how that makes it. He's got kinetic tape on his shoulder. It's like seeing someone patch back together and thrown into one of the most difficult obstacle courses in the world.
Yeah. The kinetic tape was interesting I don't know if the announcers hyped it up or something, but I was getting worried for him on every single obstacle because I was like, this guy's going to tear out his shoulder because they really hyped it up that he can hurt himself. Maybe I was duped, but I really like that aspect of the run because it added some drama and intrigue. But boy, his girlfriend was really starting to annoy me with her. I don't know what she was doing, but she was trying to motivate him with some weird call, and it was really getting distracting.
I don't even remember that now that you say it.
Well, I would say watch back, but you don't want to listen to that. It was weird.
Yeah, I just blocked it out. Man, he fell on the tire swing, but he landed on the pad. I thought it looked like he was out right there.
Yeah.
But he did end up making it through, ended up falling on Bungee Road.
Telling you, man, that Bungee Road, it's deceptive.
Yeah, and then I gotta say, we don't normally cover the fast forwards very often, but I gotta say, Andrew Lowe's has got to be the least featured, most successful ninja on this show. I really feel like he's the underappreciated ninja.
Yeah, I agree. It's weird because he's really, really good, and he seems very charismatic. He's a good-looking guy and everything. I don't know why they're throwing all the shade at him. Yeah,
they fast forward. He even does little things. Because he took a selfie in the qualifier, so they just show that in this fast forward. This time he's crawling along the course and doing things to get attention. Does well, makes it well into Bungee Road. It gets fast forward again. Andrew has been there, a veteran for years, and he just keeps getting fast forwarded. I just don't get it. Yeah. He should be as well known as many of them. He's done really, really well.
Yeah, I don't really know what's going on with that.
And next was Giselle Bozeman. Oh, man, he was really fast. Breezed through the first three.
Yeah, he was flying through it. I'm like, oh, okay, this guy's got something.
Yeah, and he beat the bar hop this time, which is where he had failed before. Took a couple attempts at the wall. He kept stopping to center himself. He holding up his fingers and just focusing. Have you seen anything like that before?
No, it's just a thing. I mean, Everybody's got their own little weird things to like calm their breathing or, get focused. Maybe that's just his.
Yeah, I just kept picturing like he's using the Force, like he's just like...
maybe that's the thing. I don't know.
It would help. It would help for sure. But he ended up going out in the salmon ladder in the end. But I was really impressed. I thought he was really well. I thought he was going to go further than that.
Yeah.
And then we had Mitch Videpo.
Science Ninja.
Science Ninja.
Yeah.
Dude's making heart valves. What the?
How does he have time to train? Like, man.
Yeah, like you're constructing the basic building blocks of a human being, and in the spare time, going to be a ninja.
Yeah, some of these guys just shock me with like how they have time to train and just do what they do with their lives. Like, I have no excuse.
Yeah, like, but I make sure that hotels get their reservations. That's important too.
Yeah, I make sure everybody gets the right books at the library. Yay!
What are we doing with our lives, Bijan?
I don't know, man.
So he was the first one to beat Bungee Road. That jump to the horizontal pipe looks really tough on Bungee Road. Like, the way they've got that positioned, it looks like it'd be really tough to make that leap.
Oh, yeah, that looks pretty rough. It's weird because it didn't trip too many people up, so I don't think we got a good feeling of how difficult that is. But that's a really good point, Rich. That thing looks pretty rough. With that said, I'm just, like, I'm dying with my love of that window hang. It's so awesome.
Yeah, I think I would have appreciated more if we saw more failures on it. We saw a few, but I liked actually when we covered the crashing the course, I liked the explanation of that and watching her do it and talking about using the tow hooks and things like that. Like, that made it more interesting to me than watching it on the show. So maybe I should have watched that before the show, and then I would have appreciated it more.
I guess, man. I was looking at that and I'm like, that's brutal. Yes. I want to see everybody on that.
So yeah, this was actually one of the examples. He ended up going out on the window hang. But he did really good job.
Yeah, he did a good job. It's a tough obstacle, especially for the first person trying it. You don't know all of the best technique ways of getting past it. So he was a good testing block.
Yep, and he was testing it for the next one, the one I think we were both really looking forward to, Thomas Stillings.
Woo woo!
Parkour instructor, a fan of the podcast,
Genie,
great all-around guy, and Genie.
Yeah, do not like sleep on the geniness. Okay, he's a genie ninja.
So he proposed to his girlfriend Zoe. That was kind of cute. He didn't do it on the show. He didn't do that last year, did he?
I don't think so.
Oh, I think he just meant since last year.
Yeah.
So they're a cute couple doing, I'm going to guess that was acro yoga, right?
It's some form. I'm no expert, but it was something.
See, he does a backflip starting the bar hop. Like, how much extra energy do you need to do this stuff? Like, crazy.
Well, I got to say, him and Daniel Gill in particular really stood out to me with how well they are at pacing. And I don't know if anybody saw this, but take a look back at his run. What you'll see is he was really good at pacing, even though he did like backflips and stuff between. You'll see that in between when he does an obstacle, he'll take a small little breather, collect his breath, and find his breathing and everything. However, when he does the obstacles, he does it very quickly, and he doesn't exert a lot of energy. He's not doing anything where he's overly pressuring his muscles. He kind of just flows through it, where he's just letting his momentum guide him through it. And you'll see a lot of the higher ninjas do it as well, but it really stood out in his run, and I really appreciated that. So if you look at maybe the first part of the course when he's running, you'll really get a good feeling of how a well-paced run can be.
Yeah, I think you actually, even in the second half, I think the way he went down one side of Bungee Road shows like that efficiency of movement that you're talking about.
Yeah. Because, you can take your time on the course and still go very, very fast. You just need to go through the obstacles in a quick manner. And he was really good at that.
Yeah, and he beat the window hang. I was so excited when I saw that. He engaged his feet. He did everything the way it should be done as far as we could tell, right? Like, he wasn't doing this fancy, look ma no feet. But he
I
did
sure
get
hope
through.
he didn't do that, man. That would be pretty awesome, but I don't think somebody can. Oh wait,
The other dudes did.
Never mind. I was thinking only the feet. Never mind. I was
Oh,
straight. I was legit straight thinking a Kevin Bull thing on those, and I'm like, that's not gonna happen.
Yeah, that would be a little tricky. But he ended up falling in the invisible ladder. One of those attempts that you're rooting for them, yelling at the screen, like, "Come on, you can do it, you can do it."
You knew it was not going to happen. I mean, after
know
about
that.
like 5 feet of him going up, I'm like, oh, this guy's done. Like,
Nope.
Yeah,
Nope.
I think
had
he knew
faith
as well.
all the way. I had faith, and I didn't believe it until he fell that he wouldn't make it.
Oh no! Like up until I think the 15 feet marker, people can usually get up there pretty quickly and then start to slow down. He got about 5 feet up and he was already really slowed down and fatigued. So I wanted him to do well, but I was like, oh man. And he was starting to do the full body kip up and everything, where it really takes a big pressure on your grip strength. The course itself is very, very grip strength heavy, this one. So like, I can understand why it could be difficult for him. This invisible ladder, getting to the invisible ladder, I should say, it's drained so much of their upper body and their grip strength that it's going to be a much tougher or more difficult obstacle than maybe the other courses this season. So I give him the benefit of the doubt. And all the other people that tried it this particular episode, I really applaud them, because this was a very tough course.
Yeah, and you know what's funny is after watching him go up that, I get so excited and so pumped. I was like, you know what? I'm going to hit the pull-up bar right now. And I did. I paused it. I ran over. And I was like, I can do it. Like, just pushed myself. And I didn't even come close. Like, nowhere even, like, much worse than I had done earlier in the day. But,
man, you are building up for doing I was so ready for you to say that you did a pull-up. And then you're like, no, I failed.
Totally failed. Like, didn't even come close. I was like, man, he just did all that. I can't even pull myself up once. I was determined. I just thought I had enough adrenaline going at that point, but I didn't.
Oh, man. I'll do a pull-up for you.
Thank you. Next up in the course was Grant Clinton. Dude had a stroke 6 months ago when working out, which, by the way, scared the bejeebus out of me, because the way he described that pain sounds almost exactly like that pain I had in my head the other day when I overexerted. So, yeah, definitely not doing that again.
Yeah, this particular thing just scared me, because most people that are listening to this or train for American Ninja Warrior, we train really hard, and he pushed his body. I don't know if he pushed his body to the limit where he got a stroke, or it just happened. It sounds like it probably just happened, right? But that's really scary that it just, can come out of nowhere, and he could have died. He pulled his wife over before he went to the emergency surgery, and he told her, if I don't make it, I want you to find a good husband and take care of our kids. Like, I want you to find a good father for our kids. And that's really cool. Like, that's such an amazing thing. And what a scary thing to say to your wife, or to hear from your significant other. That's really terrifying. And this only happened a few months ago. I really, I was really rooting for this guy. What an incredible thing. Well, incredibly horrible thing, but, incredible thing that he was able to make it out of it.
Not just make it out of it, but like kill this course, like actually finish the course. Yeah, terrible choice of words, but whatever.
I know what you mean. It was really inspiring. I give so much flack to the producers for having so many ho-hum stories that are just whatever. This is a story that's truly inspiring, that's truly just really hits you and tugs at your heart. And I'm really glad that they had this, and I'm really glad that he did so incredibly well. This guy was amazing. This guy really became a star on this episode. He's definitely going to be a name that I'm going to remember.
Yeah, I think he's actually kind of not to kind of steal some of his glory here, but I think he's a perfect representation of us running the course. Like, if we were to combine, my height and beard with your haircut and athleticism, I think that's what we would get, right? Like, Grant is perfect.
Yeah, sure. Grant is us.
He is. He's like the embodiment of the Armchair Ninja podcast.
That's right.
He's 5'5".
He's 5'5"?
So, yeah, he's only 5'5".
Oh, man.
Yeah. So he just made it past the log runner. I thought he was going out there, but he did make it all the way through. There was one thing that I actually had a question about, and I'm hoping maybe you can answer me here. Mm-hmm. Do you have any idea what they're talking about when they said Akbar was surprised because he made it through the bar hop without using the switch grip, and Matt said it was because he preloaded instead of using his L's. Do you have any idea what he was talking about?
Not really, but my guess is, when he'd, like, right before he would do the transition, he would kind of boost up his arms a little bit, kind of like in the position of an L, like kind of like right before the jump. So maybe that's a preload, but honestly, I really have no idea. So maybe one of the listeners has an idea of what they're talking about. Maybe it's a technique, like a term of a technique that I'm just not familiar with. Definitely hit us up. Let us know if, if something we're just not, noticing.
Yeah, I think Matt kind of made up that term for it, but if you can see what he's referring to there and kind of give us some idea, that would be great, and maybe we'll be able to explain it for everybody else in the next episode. So dude went like hands only on the window hang, which I didn't even think was going to be possible. There was 5 different ledges he had to go across on without using his feet.
Yeah, that guy's grip strength must be insane, because that is some fatigue for your hands. That's rough. And it wasn't just that he was transitioning, he was jumping between the bars. So he was putting like he was doing the gap and also having that downward force on his fingers to catch himself. This guy was really impressive, but that, like, it wasn't really smart, but if it works for you, why not? I mean, he flew through it, so in the end, I can't really complain.
You know what? I think this actually might be why I wasn't that impressed by the obstacle, or at least not as much as you were, because it really seemed like he just turned it into a cliffhanger. Like, he just basically showed that.
Yeah, but the cliffhanger is no joke. I think that's why I like it more, because the cliffhanger is difficult. But I see what you mean, though. There are people that can make the cliffhanger and obstacles like this look really easy, and he's a good example of it, right? So I like these obstacles where they really weed out the really good from the average, and I feel like this obstacle is a good representation of that. But to be fair, I mean, you're right. You liked the circuit board a whole lot more than me last episode. So maybe it's just a switch up for this one, where I absolutely adore this obstacle, and I can definitely understand your criticisms of it somewhat.
So next we had Andrew Potter.
Hold up. We got to talk about him beast moding that invisible ladder, dude. Like, after everything he was doing, just draining his grip strength, he did that invisible ladder like nothing.
Yeah, it was impressive. He got Palm Wonderful, and you couldn't argue, right? Like,
no way.
Like, that's great. I like when they give them out in the middle of the episode, and it's like, yeah, I totally can see that. It doesn't have to be the fastest run. It doesn't have to be anything else. Like, that was an amazing run. Let's give it to him, and let's be done with it. We don't have to worry about the rest of the episode.
Yeah, like, amazing story, or really inspiring story, a really great run, really. Or at least for me, I really didn't see him going that far just from the offset, because I'm like, well, I don't really know this guy, but he thoroughly impressed me. He thoroughly shocked me, and he deserves that Palm Wonderful. I shouldn't call it reward. I don't know, like acclamation or whatever.
They get a prize.
They get Okay, good for him then. Like, he deserves it, because it was a really great run.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Like, we'll be watching for him in Vegas for sure after that run. It'd be kind of like after watching Nicholas Coolidge and Daniel Gill last year, it'll be one of those rookies we'll be watching for.
Yeah, definitely.
So again, Andrew Potter was next. He's the ranger who works with the Warriors Ascent. He helps vets with PTSD, which is a really worthwhile cause. But unfortunately, he ended up going out in the log runner. Just one of those great story, but unfortunately didn't get very far.
Yeah.
That log runner is just brutal.
Yeah. It's weird, man, because it's such a great obstacle. It's so difficult, and you need to be so precise with your balance. But at the same time, I can't help but feel like, is it cheap? Is it going to be too hard for somebody that's shorter, that doesn't have the legs like span? Because you saw a lot of shorter competitors fail at it, but I just don't know. I still give it the benefit of the doubt. I think it's just awesome.
Well, Grant's 5'5". He did it.
Well, there you go.
Yeah. It's possible. I think we tend to look at those balance obstacles as being cheaper in a way because the focus is so on grip strength, but really they could put 5 of these things on the course. It would be just as fair. It would just lead to a different kind of athlete excelling on the course.
Yep. Get those free runners.
Yeah.
You're not going to hear me complain.
I really thought that's how they were going to go this season, but they didn't really change up the skill set all that much, did they?
Man, it's weird. Like, I really expected them to diversify, but I feel like they doubled down on the upper body strength, like, aspect of the show. You know, I'm glad. I mean, it's their niche, so whatever. Like, it's their thing. They fully embrace it. Like, they were posting on Twitter, which was really interesting because it happened right after Sasuke, and after a lot of people, including us, were pointing out that Sasuke was a lot more lower body focused. They come out with tweets saying, "We're American Ninja Warrior, and we're upper body." And I'm just like, interesting.
Did they tweet that? Really?
Oh, yeah.
I don't even remember that, or I missed it somehow.
I'll send it to you.
But anyway, next we had the Godfather, David Campbell, and I know you had some reaction when they were giving him a little bit of props.
It was such poetic justice just because they didn't invite him back this season, and they threw him shade and had him go on the walk-on line, and he didn't even get to go on. I think the LA course is when the first one he tried to do the walk-on for. So it really showed his commitment, and isn't it quite amazing that they gave him this promo, a long-winded promo, well-deserved, by the way. I'm not complaining about it, but I just find it amusing that they act like he's so high-profile and everything. So if you're giving him all this love, why didn't you give him all this love before even filming the season? Like, this is a guy that was there from day one. He was one of the hallmarks and the stalwarts of this entire show. And I really feel like they just kind of disrespected him coming into the season. And I'm glad that they showed him love, but man, it's interesting that now they do it. But man, I really felt bad for him. With all that said, I felt bad about the fact that, his curse continues. Jeez. Like,
this is a new one, though. Well, that's the thing. This is a new level of curse, man. He took a step backward because he normally, makes it to Vegas like every year, and end up going out in stage 1 every year, or at least the last few years. Yeah. Didn't even make it through this time. He ended up going out on the bar hop. He really struggled on the ring swing. Like, second obstacle, he was getting tripped up. It was not a good sign.
Yeah, first time David Campbell's not going to Vegas, and that's rough. Please, David, if you're listening, try again next year. I know they gave you so much flack this year. Just keep at it. There are so many fans that really enjoy you, so many diehards that watch from day one. Keep going. We're going to be rooting for you.
Yeah, absolutely. Speaking of the old school diehards, next up was Brent Stephenson.
Yeah. It still hurts me a little whenever they remind me that him and Casey aren't together. It's kind of like, everybody's parents got divorced or something.
Your favorite aunt and uncle.
Yeah, it stings a little.
Who do we spend the holidays with? I don't understand.
It's Uncle Brent this episode, right?
Yeah, exactly. This episode is Brent. Yeah, Brent... I don't know what it is. Something about when he runs, you almost can get a good feel for how it's going to go right off the bat. I just had a bad feeling. He didn't seem comfortable. He ended up going out on Bungee Road, unfortunately.
Yeah, I like the fact that you brought that up. I think you've brought that up before, but it's a really good point because he really does telegraph how well he's doing physically or mentally, or I'm just not sure. Like, you can really get a feel for how well he's going to do, much more than any other, it feels like, ninja there is. And I'm not really sure what's going on with that. But yeah, there's definitely something to it.
Yeah, maybe that's what it is. Like something in his face, you can just tell when he's not comfortable, he's not feeling it, and I just really get that impression right off the bat this time.
With that said, he made it to Vegas, right?
I was just say, yeah, he did make it to Vegas. I was supposed to double check, but that's right, he did make it through.
Yeah, I'm glad. Figure. I'm glad, man. Like, we're gonna see both our uncle and aunt. Like, even though like Casey didn't make it through, she has to be what do you call it, a wild card? She has to be. So,
you know what's funny about Casey?
We're gonna root for both of them.
Casey's on this level that, and here we are doing it because people complain all the time. They bring her up when she wasn't on this episode, but we're gonna bring her up anyway. Whatever. But here's the thing. So when I go to like tag posts and videos and things like that, YouTube, Facebook, and all that kind of stuff. I think it's Facebook that actually detects what you're typing in and offers suggestions. And you can't really even tag certain people and things. So I can tag American Ninja Warrior to it, but I can't tag Matt Eisman or Akbar or Joe Moravsky or all kinds of other things, not even Sasuke. But I can tag Casey Catanzaro. Like, she is the only one that can't tag Jesse Graff. Like, she is at that level that is just so unbelievably popular. She drives so many fans to the show and keeps them coming back. Like, you can't possibly hate on that.
No, she's transcendent. I mean, anytime I bring up American Ninja Warrior with anybody, the one name that everybody talks about is Casey, or at least they'll describe her. Oh yeah, the one with that really small lady that was jumped from the bar to the bar and ran up that giant wall. And I'm like, yeah, that one. So it's transcendent. People that are very, very casual fans, they know American Ninja Warrior from her runs.
And we're going to take a quick break for a word from our sponsor. How many of you have joined me in the Couch to Salmon Ladder Challenge? Not those of you already doing this stuff. You need to start the Salmon Ladder to Couch Challenge. Go get Netflix and marathon some Breaking Bad or Orange is the New Black. No, this is for my fellow chubby people. Let's do this, and let's start by signing up at ninjawarriorblueprints.com. That's a few mouse clicks and you're one step closer. That will get you free Salmon Ladder blueprints for when you're ready to take on that next stage of the challenge. Now get started on your pull-ups. I'm not even joking right now when I say that. When I'm ready to tackle a salmon ladder, I'll be using these plans. I don't know of any ninja gyms or salmon ladders around here. The instructions are great and easy to read. The materials are affordable and all detailed for me. Past projects have clearly showed me that if I try to do it without these plans, I'd end up with extra wood and a boatload of extra hardware. Who the heck knows how many bolts you need? These guys do. So take the guesswork out of throwing your body recklessly into the air. Get these free plans at ninjawarriorblueprints.com. And if you're looking for something bigger and more complex, they've got you covered for that too. So go check them out. Once again, ninjawarriorblueprints.com. And we're back. And next we had Tremaine Dortch, whose wife is pregnant with a young baby girl, turns out.
Congrats.
Yeah, he gets, on the course there, he gets spinning around on the ring swing. It was not looking good. He fell in the log runner, but made it through. But surprisingly ended up going out on the salmon ladder of all places.
Yeah, it was just an accumulation of small little errors, and it caught up to him. It was interesting that it was a salmon ladder that took him out, but, salmon ladder is deceptively tough, and he carries on a lot of muscles, so he never seemed fully comfortable running this course, and when you're not fully comfortable with all that muscle mass, it can really fatigue you a lot quicker, and I think it was an accumulation of errors plus fatigue that really got to him.
Yeah. So that put him on the bubble, and next we had running was Daniel Gill, the man of the hour.
Woo!
He mentioned he's been training grip strength, and he just goes through, man. He's so steady and smooth. Just
smooth as butter.
And he did the hands-only window hang, too, like demonstrating this grip strength he's been training, apparently.
Yeah. I mean, maybe that's the thing. That's the best way to do it, maybe, just get through it as fast as possible.
Yeah, it does speed it up, doesn't it? Like, it's way quicker. When you're using your feet, you're going to be up there a while. Mm-hmm. So he put up the new fastest time. He actually, he beat out Grant.
Yeah. So, yeah, he finally got payback to the Genie Ninja, for, the shade, or the, I guess, call out that the Genie Ninja made for him. But not just that, it's funny. Daniel Gill, we hyped this guy up so much over the past year, right? We hyped him up so incredibly much, but we never got even close to the level of how much the announcers were hyping this guy up during his run. It was almost ridiculous, the things they were saying about this guy.
Really, though, it's like, how over the top does it have to be for you and I to notice that? Like, it must have been really bad, because we do it all the time.
They were laying it on thick. I'm like, he's great, guys, but man, he has flaws too.
I don't know. Like, I'd really... I didn't know what to make of it. It was so crazy over the top. But then, what it's like, you and I are in this position all the time too, right? You want to say something, you have to say something. They have to talk through the whole way he's going. So it's easy to kind of get on that roll where you just start saying something and you just kind of go with it, and it kind of gets away from you a little bit.
Yeah, good point. I mean, who are we to criticize, I'm always kissing the butts of everybody that I love, so whatever.
Yeah, I think we just had a David Campbell rant again, didn't we? How many times has that happened this season?
Seriously. Drew Dressel, Jesse Graff, Megan Martin. Oh, I love them so much. Blah, blah, blah.
Oh, you forgot Jeff Britton.
Oh, Jeff Britton, too. Yes.
Jeff Britton. We've even gotten comments made on our website about how we go on with Jeff Britton too much.
Yeah, they're Isaac fans.
Next on the course. Anyway, Daniel did awesome. We're going to be talking about him again because he did the 24 before anyway, so we'll get back to him. Next, we had Jon Stewart. 54 years old. They may have mentioned it a few times.
Jon Stewart is quickly stealing my heart. This guy is, like, every single year, I am thoroughly, genuinely looking forward to his runs. This guy is so great. I love everything about this guy so much. And I had no idea that he trains like to the extent that he does for the show. I thought he just like worked out and then did the stuff. But it's really cool to see a guy his age really being so youthful and, really embracing the sport fully. This guy is so awesome, man.
It almost seems like a disservice to him to comment on how he's good for his age, because like they said, he is good for any age. Like it's not even...
Really?
It doesn't need a disclaimer. He's just good.
Yeah, that's a good point, because usually for some of the older ninjas, especially the ones over 50, we really have this disclaimer where you really, as you said, are like, well, they got past the second obstacle or the third obstacle. That's really great for their age. But this guy, you kind of just put him on the same level as all the other competitors. He is just so incredibly good. And it's not just that he's as good as some of the top-notch competitors. He's blowing past almost all of the fields. Like, where did he finish today? He finished, I think, in like the top 10, right?
Oh, for sure. He went out on the window hang, so he'd be... we could probably look it up, but let's just take a wild guess at it, because that's a lot easier. I'm going to say
5.
He's 5th.
Yeah, my guess is that he's the 5th. Like, he is so good. This guy is awesome.
Yeah, I don't know what to say. Like, he's 14 years older than me. Like, I feel old all the time, and this guy's 14 years older than me. And he's, 24? He's almost twice your age.
Yeah, I know. That's kind of scary, right? And I'm a dinosaur, so what does that mean?
Exactly. You think you're old. This guy's 2 of you.
Yeah. I mean, I woke up today, and I'm just like, oh, do I need a walking cane? Now's the end. I see the end in sight. But this guy... Yeah, seriously, like, he's really, really cool, and, screw everybody hyping up Daniel Gill. This is the guy to hype up.
Yeah, we need to show Jon Stewart more love. This guy is, like, amazing.
Yeah.
He has 8 grandkids, for God's sakes. That's crazy.
Dude's been busy. Got a 7-year-old daughter, too. Good for him.
Yes, he does. Yes, he does. And it's weird, because I have a 10-year-old daughter who, there's a pretty big age gap between her and her older sisters, and I feel like she missed out because I wasn't as active when she was smaller. And there's really no excuse, obviously, because this dude's like tearing it up with a 7-year-old at 54.
Yeah. I really can't use the excuse of, oh, I'm just too old for this now.
Yeah, it totally takes away that excuse from so many people. But he did fantastic. We'll see him in Vegas. It'll be really interesting to see how he does. I'd love to see him get past stage 1.
I'm so excited for that.
Yeah, see, that's what I'm lowering expectations. Why am I even like he can go as far as anybody else. Maybe he could go all the way to stage 4.
Yeah, shame on you, Rich. How dare you disrespect him like that?
I'm age shaming him. Next we had Karsten Williams. Actually, the last run of the night was Karsten Williams.
How jarring was this? Like, what? Why is Karsten ending this episode? No offense to him or anything, but what's going on here? Were you quite perplexed by this?
A little bit. I was surprised. I'm like, okay, I can go with that. I like Karsten. Nothing against him. Usually it's the one everybody's been waiting for, right? As much as I used to complain about them switching the order around, usually it makes sense to have your big finale, right?
Yeah, if not one of the bigger competitors, at least like a really inspiring run. Like, there's got to be something to just really make it, I guess bigger, right? Like, I know we gave a lot of flack for Lauren Ball last episode, but at least he was a named competitor that fell early. But I was expecting something big to happen during this run. I was like, there's got to be a reason for this guy being the last run. But from what I saw, there really wasn't anything. He was just chosen to be last, and I guess.
It's got to be the only thing that makes sense to me is he was chosen because almost as a branch off of Tremaine, right? He's the one that bumped Tremaine, and it wasn't like they just manufactured that, that reality because Christine actually calls him out on it in the interview, which was kind of rude, actually, to point out, like, hey, guess what you did? You bumped out your friend. Congratulations.
I know.
Like, sucks a little bit of the celebration out of it.
Yeah, he handled it well, though.
Yeah, he did. He did for sure.
Yeah, but it was so very... Just everything about this run was strange. I think just the... Well, I can't speak for anybody, but for my general mood, I was kind of taken aback. I wasn't as invested in it as I was the other runs, I think because of the placement. And it's no disrespect to him or anything. It's just after a long night of seeing so many runs, it's really hard to remain invested at a certain point.
Yeah, like, I don't know. Jon Stewart's run would have been a good way to end it, I think.
Yeah.
It seemed a little weird. But I mean, good on Carson. He's working with Big Brother, and he's working at like shelters and stuff. And his mom is awesome. How awesome is his mom?
Love his mom.
He ended up going out in the window hang, so he did really well. Yeah, it is what it is.
Yeah. So
moving on, we've got Crashing the Course, which was looking at the window hang. So Bijan, was this one? Well, it couldn't be worse than last week because we had two really awful videos last week. This week's was pretty good, I thought.
No, both of them were pretty good. I had no complaints at all.
So we get to see the window hang, which we did see in the episode. 5 ledges with height differences. The width of the little ledges themselves were like 2.5 inches down to 1.5 inches. Mm-hmm. I liked your demonstration, like showing the heel toe hook maneuvers and trying to, show like the mental aspect of kind of making your way through.
Yeah, I like these behind the scenes things. Not just that, we got to get a good look at the crew that sets up it and just them like goofing around, doing a little workout, every so often. It's kind of fun seeing that, that not everybody's seeing is, so serious, they're having fun while doing it. And yeah, I like the fact that we had this cool couple that the wife performed how to do the obstacle, and it was nice. Honestly, gender sometimes comes in, and I enjoyed seeing a woman doing this particular obstacle. Something about it, just it kind of switches things up a little bit. So yeah, all together, we got different variations of the obstacle. It's past, and it's kind of its creation and or genesis, I should say. And yeah, and then we got to see a good demonstration of it. Thumbs up all around. Yeah,
so that was Nate and Sarah Moore. I did note their names, but I didn't quite catch what they do. They just work with the crew putting everything together, I guess. Is it?
Yeah, I think so.
So Nate had a nasty shin scrape too, though. Oh man, that looked bad.
Yeah, that looked rough. Ooh.
Jeez. But yeah, it was Sarah that killed the course there. She did awesome. You gotta wonder how much. I mean, they practiced it a lot, I guess. I wonder how they would do on the course itself if they actually had to run it fresh.
It's hard to say, right? Because anybody, I feel like there are a lot of people that can do like the obstacles singularly, but accumulation is what really makes it tough.
Yeah, it's the mental aspect of being up in front of the crowd and trying to string them all together perfectly each time. Yeah, that makes sense. Moving on, we had 24 Before with Daniel Gill, which I was really looking forward to. Dude was filming and driving, though. That is not cool.
I guess I did.
Nope, sorry, Daniel. Thomas, I know you listened. Give Daniel heck for that, would you, please? Do not film and drive. Not cool at all.
Yeah, he's the dad, so, you know.
Yeah, that's the day. Yeah, my daughter just got her license. That's exactly what's coming out right now. No Pokemon when you're driving. No filming. No texting. Just keep it safe.
Those darn millennials.
Yes, your whole generation. So you get up at 3 p.m., which is reasonable when you gotta stay up all night, but it's funny how many people don't do that, I think.
Yeah, it's smart. I like the fact that he kind of stretches his hands with different, like these grip little things that he has. They're pretty cool. I kind of want to get one of those because I really need to start training my grip. That's actually a really good idea to do.
Yeah, I was actually wondering, I was going to ask you about that, if you had a little silicone training donuts, I think he called them.
No, but I need them. But let's talk about that sandwich he made, because
yes.
I don't know. It's interesting. I don't know if it's going to taste absolutely amazing or absolutely awful, but there is no middle ground with that sandwich. It's either going to be one or the other. But for people that didn't see it, it's like a wheat/oat like type of bread slice with peanut butter, and on top of that is avocado, and on top of that is banana slices. That sounds amazing. I want to try it, but it can just as easily be the worst thing I've ever put in my mouth. I have no idea.
So maybe we should commit. We'll do that for next week. Both of us will try it and see what we think.
Yeah, well, I have all those things at my home.
Yeah, I do not buy avocado. It's just not something you normally get around here, so it's expensive. Stupidly expensive, I think, compared to what you guys probably find them on the ground out there.
Yeah, well, I don't know. Avocados are amazing, and luckily, yeah, we have a lot of them.
So his hair routine, it just comes out that way, guys. Yeah, right. I don't believe him at all.
Whatever.
He just like runs his fingers through it, and yeah, sure.
My silky head comes out that way too. It's flawless,
shiny. But he's doing push-ups and burpees to warm up before his run. I guess you really gotta get your blood flowing. I guess that'll do it.
I guess if you do it at the right time. I mean, you don't want to do too many push-ups or burpees. You're going to burn yourself out. But, throughout the night. But I think if you do it at the right time, yeah, you can get the juices flowing and get already prepared. Okay,
so that is it for our coverage. I wanted to actually mention briefly, if you haven't seen it, if you want to stop by our YouTube channel, you can see a silly little cartoon that I threw together. It was meant to be just a quick test of the concept. So unfortunately, Bijan doesn't have any lines. His little character just kind of dances around because I was just trying to mess around with it. So there might be more coming. We'll see how it goes. But if you want to check it out, you can see little cartoon versions of Bijan and I on our YouTube channel, which will be linked in the show notes.
Yeah, props to you, Rich. It was quite fun watching that. I didn't know I was animated. I made it to the big leagues now, you know?
Yeah. So that is it for now, and we're going to have 2 off weeks. The longest 3 weeks ever. We have to wait for Philadelphia finals.
That's going to be rough. But it's fine. I'll sit at the top of my perch, the top of the ANW fantasy rankings. That's fine.
Oh, I thought you were going to say, I'll just, cry myself to sleep in Hawaii.
Oh, that too. Yeah. Life is hard, man.
Yeah,
life's really rough for me right now.
I'll take consolation that you're going to be spending it running through barbed wire and torturing yourself.
Yeah. Well, everybody wish me luck. I'm going to be running the Spartan Beast in Hawaii. I don't bring it up, but I've been quite sick this past month, so I haven't been able to go into my final training. So I'm doing this on pretty much 2 days worth of training. But I did do training months beforehand, so I'm in good shape, and hopefully that'll get me through. But I'm excited. I'm going to do it. It's going to be amazing. It's just going to be It's gonna be fun times, and yeah, we'll have some good stories when I'm finish it with it.
Yeah, I can't wait to hear how you did. And thank you for pushing through all these times. So I don't know if you guys can tell at home, but Bijan will be, like death warmed over before we start the podcast. Like, all right, let's do it. And then he just amps it up for the podcast. Like he brings it each week. So thank you very much for doing that.
Always amps, bro.
You just can bring the energy. Someone needs the energy in this thing. So thank you all for listening. If you could, please go to iTunes, leave us a rating, review. It really helps out a lot. Subscribe to the podcast. Tell a friend. Get the word out there. We are running down the season. Like we are, it doesn't get any more hyped than American Ninja Warrior is right now. And we could really use your help to get it in front of as many fans as possible while the show is still on the air, because we're going to be running it in the off season again this year. And we're going to want to have as many people joining us as we can.
Yeah. Always love the feedback and everything you guys do. Love interacting with you guys.
Yeah, so keep sending that in. We are on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. That's Ninja Podcast. And you can email me at rich@ninjapodcast.com. And Bijan, where can they reach you?
Hit me up at Twitter and Instagram at Bijan151. That is BIJAN 151.
All right, thank you all for listening, and I hope you have a great week.
Peace, y'all.